Madam, I thank you for giving me the opportunity of standing in defense of the bill. I stand on behalf of my party in support of the bill. I would firstly like to thank the Honorable Home Minister for bringing this much delayed ordinance. Actually, ma'am, I stand here as a woman and a mother and as a proud daughter. I've seen the entire house and the sense of the house. And it actually pains me to believe that all these men who for the last 4.5 years one has worked with, we've discussed several issues, still I do see a gender bias in this room that we are all working in towards building a nation. I think all these men I talked about in the first speech was about a gender issue, about a girl child. Let me clarify it. I'm very, very proud to be a woman, and every woman in this room is very proud, just the way you are, and so are all these men who are. So I think all the concerns, everybody's forgotten to discuss. Very few men have really flagged the issue that here we are not discussing about men's rights. We talk about security of the woman, which happens to be one of their wives, one of their daughters, and one of their mothers. So I think let's not forget why we are here and the sentiment of the nation today. I would like to share a story with all my esteemed colleagues here today. I was flying from Delhi to Mumbai about 6 months ago, and this gentleman who I've never met in my life reached out to me and said, "Aren't you a member of parliament?" I said, "Yes, I am." He says, "Do you realize what has happened in Delhi? I mean, how insensitive are you all to all our needs?" So I said, "No, we are all very sensitive." He says, "Let me tell you one thing. As long as this happens to one of your political wives or daughters or daughter-in-laws, your fraternity is not going to wake up to this cause. And that's when you all will learn a lesson, when your wife or your mother or your daughter is raped." And I must tell you, I was ashamed at that point, because that's the message that today India's society is looking at us. So I think it's very critical, and the entire nation is watching this debate, and they're looking at us hopefully that we will worry about protecting our daughters, our mothers, our daughter-in-laws, our wives. It's not about what the men think. And I appeal to every man in this room that there are a lot of legislations made in this country, a lot of laws, and a lot of laws are broken also. This is not the only law that's going to be broken or misused. So let's all be straight about it, that we've all gone through scams. So I think let's stop hiding behind and let's face reality that none of this, please do not show so much mistrust in this woman who you claim you worship, and please have more faith in her. And I assure you, every law, there's always one point. I don't say every man. My father is not a bad man. None of y'all are bad. Nor is my son and nor is my husband. So why are y'all showing so much mistrust towards us and saying that we are going to use it against you? We have no interest in using it against you. And it's not for any of us women sitting in this room. We are very capable of looking after ourselves and handling us in a situation. It's for the woman who's at the bottom of the pyramid, who cannot scream or reach out or will get fair laws. To give you a little example, what happened in my own constituency. There's a lady who was sitting in a house who was 5 months pregnant. Her husband told her that somebody will come, we have to repair the car. One man came and rang the bell. He told her that your husband has sent me and I need 200 rupees. She turned and didn't realize who he was. He pushed the door, walked into the house. She was 5 months pregnant. He attacked the grandmother in the house. She died on the spot. He raped this woman. This story happened 5 years ago. And even today, 5 years ago in Pune. After this, even today, I see that woman regularly. He's totally traumatized. Their entire family, even today, is completely shattered, and that woman has not got justice. The man surely was arrested, but you'll be surprised to know that the Bombay High Court gave him death penalty. When the matter came to the Supreme Court, the wife in one of her sessions with the cops had said in her interrogation that that man smelt of alcohol. Because he smelt of alcohol, they have said that it was done under the influence of alcohol, so it should be life imprisonment and not death. I think it's really a shame. Maharashtra government has again asked the Honorable Supreme Court, because there must be, I think, a fair judgment, and that man has to be hung, and there is no justification that he is willing to rape somebody just because he is under the influence of alcohol. So I think there are several cases. We are all only talking about the Delhi case. There are millions of women across pan-India who go through all this. Some of them come. Most women are scared to tell. I'm not sure if I will be able to come out in the open really if I was assaulted physically, because the conviction rate is so low. It's only 26%. And what we really need is not new legislations. We need judicial and police reforms. Are our police really sensitive to women's needs? I saw even in this frame of the House, there are a lot of men sniggering when there were comments passed about women. I mean, it's funny when you talk about Sheila Ki Jawani, but I'm sorry, what it should be once it's your daughter, your wife, your daughter-in-law. I think it's time this sense also shows sensitivity to women and respect women beyond the barriers of speeches and giving idealistic situations. You all have given us reservation in panchayats, that's great. We definitely want women rights here, but we want to live in dignity, and I think that's all a woman in India today is asking for, is safety and security, and it's the environment. We're not asking only for legislations and police to run around. Little bit of patrolling, more women in the police force. I'm proud to say Maharashtra today is working on it. About 9% after really struggling, we've been able to get 9% women in our police force. We really need to look into this. The district administration has to put in one person who will only address women's issues. And I think the NDC, which is so proud, and they come and every chief minister comes here and gives very great speeches about the development they've done, about national security, as a top priority. I think internal security is something we all talk about. We talked about Sri Lanka. What about the women who don't feel safe in this? Why are we worrying about what's happening in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, as well as Bangladesh? Let's worry about what's happening to every woman in this country and then worry about state. Let's get our house in order and then worry about what is happening in the other nations. So I would just take this opportunity that we all support this bill, but it is not an anti-male bill. It is just the safety of every human being. Even talk about trafficking. I was just appalled to see that trafficking, they've said that and stalking. Trafficking, they've said after the first time you've caught, it's a 5-year imprisonment. Would any of us like anybody from our family to be tracked? And why is it only gender bias? I don't want my daughter to be trafficked, but so certainly I don't want my son to be trafficked either. And if we think abuse is only about women, not at all. There is a lot of male abuse everywhere in this country. So I think we have to address all these issues. Talk about stalking. I think everybody wants it diluted. I appreciate the sentiment of the men. A lot of them say, oh, we won't be able to look at women. I'm sure the women are not so insensitive. We know when a man is complimentary looking at you and looking at you badly. So I don't think it's really such a shallow issue. I think let's look at the larger picture. Stalking, first time, they have made it bailable, but my worry is then what happens to the eyewitness? Because the second time, why should we wait? Because there's a very good chance that in stalking, after the person comes out on bail, I'm sure that the eyewitness will be maybe in trouble. So I think these are all things we should look, and I'm sure that the entire sense of the House would be to support all the women of this country, because the only difference in developed countries and developing countries is all developed countries, women have equal rights in everything. And we can't compare ourselves all the time to the Western world because their judiciary system and the policing is far more efficient than ours. So I think besides just building roads and dams and airports, I think the first thing we need to do is look into our gender equality, make sure women get every equal right as with the men, and we want to support. Don't forget, we all want husband, we want a son, and we want a father. Why would we want to hurt anybody? So I think let's look at the larger picture and take this issue far more seriously and look to India which is not gender biased but gender equal. Thank you.
Very good.